I'd like to call the City of Apache Junction Council meeting to order. The invocation will be led by Vice Mayor Rizzi, and Councilman Gail Evans will do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege of being gathered here today to do the city's business on behalf of our constituents. We ask that each of us be guided by you in the decisions we make that affect others and not by any personal agenda or ego. We ask to be humble in our disagreements and that we never forget we are here to serve the people of this beautiful community. We pray for peace and comfort for the family of Dee Baginski, founder of the Courage Under Cancer Foundation, as they grieve the loss of their loved one. Father, we ask for your continued protection over all of our first responders, those serving in our military, and their family members. We ask that they be brought home safely each and every day. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Wilson,
Here.
Vice Mayor Rizzi,
Present.
Councilmember Evans,
Here.
Councilmember Johnson,
Here.
Councilmember Nesser,
Present.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Here.
You have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you. And for those who are maybe wondering where Mr. Heck is tonight, he's on his way back from Mexico for the wedding of his daughter that he attended. Consent agenda. As a reminder, all items under consent agenda will be approved with one motion. If a council member wishes to remove an item for further discussion, the request must be made prior to approving the consent agenda and will be moved to new business. Do I have a motion for consent agenda?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that we accept and approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Vice Mayor Rizzi,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser,
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Evans,
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
Okay, we have no proclamations or presentations. Intergovernmental updates. Anyone have anything that they'd like to speak of? Well, I have one thing that I want to hand out to the council, and that's these annual report for the Proposition 400 in Maricopa County. This is the improvements that have been going on over in Maricopa County. This comes from MAG, and it is fairly, I'm going to say, interesting, and see what the advantages of passing a half-cent sales tax and how it can help your county out. And of course, it's something that we've actually been on the receiving end a little bit of, and that's the 24 coming on over to Ironwood, which is going to help relieve some of the traffic on the north section of Ironwood coming into our city and up to 60. It is something that this tax is scheduled to sunset in December 31st, 2025. And as you can see in this booklet, what's going to happen if some of the things don't continue on. So anyway, I want everyone to be aware of it. And I'll try to get two more for you all sitting out there before you come before City Council as well. Public hearings. Consideration and application of a
Mr.
new...
Mayor?
No.
Oh, wait,
We have,
I'm sorry.
It's city manager's report and also
Whoa, I skipped right through it. Oh, I guess I want to get this done.
Going for it.
That's really,
I was done with my speak, so therefore I'm done.
watch it, Robert.
We're good if you want to move on.
City managers report, Bryant.
It could have been
Sorry
a good
about
night. You
that.
were probably inspired. Tonight for our report, I have a couple items. I just wanted to share that we had the unfortunate event of rain in December, and our holiday light parade and event were canceled. And all the vendors, all the people, it was just a huge disappointment on staff's end to not be able to do that. There are so many folks that it takes to put that together. It rained all day. We ended up having over 200 kids make it to the multi-gen and their families to the recreation center to meet Elsa and Frozen, I don't know. Yeah,
The
Anna.
Frozen.
Yeah, and of course Santa. And it was a great evening for these families that were able to come over and still get a chance to be with Santa and to enjoy that time there at the recreation center. So I wanted to say thanks to everybody that participated, and also to extend my regrets and apologize we were not able to do that, but we were able to get this accomplished. So I wanted to make sure that everybody knew about that report.
And Brian,
Yes.
just a note about that, over 200 people did come to this part of the event.
Which is awesome, and our staff performed a quick flexible changeover and got everybody over, and we're able to get this done. I also want to share that the Superstition Food Bank, which is connected to us, is having their annual golf tournament coming up on December 20th. The history of the food bank is connected to us, and if you go look at their plaque over there, you can see the efforts done by the city council and the city and the county that have helped perform the service that's done to help benefit the lives of those who are in need. This is a fundraiser, one of their fundraisers to help support that. So just wanted to let everybody know that's coming up. Tonight, Matt Busby's going to do Al Bravo. Al's son is performing in a play, and it's that time of year, so he said, Al, go do that. And Matt, we have a couple of items of current events, if we could show those.
Sure. The first event, and I know the mayor wanted to talk just briefly about this one. The mayor and I were able to attend this, what is referred to as a Light the World event, and specifically it's for something called the Giving Machines. These are an annual event put on by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints during the Christmas season to give people an opportunity in a vending machine style donation center to go and give money through a vending machine to these charities. The charities that participate are global, and they're nonprofits. They include African Girls Hope Foundation, American Red Cross, Church World Service, International Development Enterprises, Lifting Hands International, Mentors International, UNHCR, UNICEF, Water for People, and World Food Program. Last year, donations exceeded $5.8 million across the U.S. About 300,000 people donated through these different giving machines. And the giving machine is right behind me and the mayor there in that picture, so you can see it kind of looks like a vending machine. The mayor was invited to come participate in the kickoff of this with these nonprofits and the various churches that attended too. And these giving machines are in about 28 cities across the world, including Brisbane, Australia, Mexico City, Manila, Philippines, New York, Washington, D.C. There's one here in Glendale. This one is in Gilbert. And there's also a traveling one in Arizona that goes to Tucson and Flagstaff and Safford. And we're already making a invitation that the next traveling one stop by here next year or in future years for a chance for people to give back. So, Mr. Mayor, I don't know if there's anything specific that you want to share about that.
One of the things I just wanted to add in the aspect on it, this one is unique in the aspect that when you put your money in there to donate to the organization, that's the organization it's going to. It's not going to I'll say, umbrella, and therefore they now shell out the money that they feel that needs to be done. This is done exactly what your wishes are. So it goes to the non-for-profit that you want it to go to, and no one else.
In 100%, it goes to them. There's no cut off the top or anything like that. It's a real neat program. That was that event. This Saving Paws is a nonprofit related to our Paws and Claws Center, our Animal Control Center. And we have this update that I'll read from Lori Erlinson, who is the manager down there. And this is what she states about the Saving Paws organization. Saving Paws Rehabilitation Fund just had its 3rd birthday. Saving Paws is a 501c3 nonprofit started by animal control shelter volunteers to raise funds to pay for emergency medical care for the sick or injured, but otherwise adoptable animals that come into the shelter. The nonprofit has raised thousands of dollars in its first 2 years, helping dozens of pets. This year, Saving Paws has paid almost $44,000 in medical bills for about 65 shelter animals. Since October 2019, it has received more than $120,000 in donations. Saving Paws participates in many community events and will be opening the Cause for Paws resale boutique with proceeds going to the Rehabilitation Fund. Thank you to our shelter volunteers. And you can see the website there on the screen if you want to learn more about that. And that concludes the updates and the current events that Al Bravo handed off to me.
Okay. Well, I wanted to say one thing about our unfortunate aspect of the weather that destroyed our ability to do our activities for this past weekend for the light parade and everything. But one of the things that we did get to do between showers was actually turn the light on in the tree. We got them done, and it was between showers, so we didn't get that wet at that time. But shortly afterwards, it started raining again. Okay.
Your Honor,
Yes.
if I may, I just wanted to thank Parks and Rec, all the sponsors for our holiday events, all the planning that went into it. I know there were a lot of disappointment. There were a lot of, not a lot, but, a handful of comments that, people were upset and disappointed. But I admire the process that they went through. They waited. They contacted the fire and police department, and it was a mutual decision that safety was a priority. And if we remember, when we get rain here in our community, people were comparing us to other communities. Unfortunately, in Apache Junction, when we get rain for long periods of time, even when it's slow or suddenly, it comes down off that mountain, and people remember the flash flooding we've had. So I appreciate and admire and am grateful for the people that did have to make that difficult decision, that they put safety as a priority.
Thank you. And we did have, at my house, 1 3/4 inch rain for that entire period of time. Okay. Now, public hearings, consideration and application for a new Series 6 bar liquor license for Apache Creek Golf Course. Jennifer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Before City Council tonight is a request for a Series 6 bar liquor license for the Apache Creek Golf Club. In the memo provided, you will see that they do currently hold a Series 7, which is a beer and wine, and they also hold a 12, which is the restaurant. As you know, the Series 6 and the Series 7 are quota licenses. They only come up through a lottery. If you're selected, you're in luck. You can apply several years for the lottery and not get the Series 6 or Series 7. If they are approved for the Series 6, which allows the service of all types of spirituous liquor throughout the area that they designated where they would serve, which is currently the golf course and the restaurant, they would have to surrender the 7 and the 12 series. So we sent this out to our departments for inspection and safety. All 4 have come back with recommendation of approval. The applicant is present this evening. If you have further questions regarding this, you can ask them. That gentleman is here, and his name is Jared Rapinski, and this is a public hearing.
Okay, any discussion among council to start out with?
No.
Would the applicant like to speak? Not necessary, okay. Okay, as a public hearing, would anyone else like to speak on this issue, come forward and come up to the microphone. And I see nobody moving. Okay. So I guess I'll close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that the application for a Series 6 bar liquor license submitted by Jared Rapinski for Apache Creek Golf Club located at 3401 South Ironwood Drive be recommended for approval to the Arizona Department of Liquor Licenses and Control.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call?
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Old business, none. New business. Presentation, discussion, consideration of legal advertisement agreement with the Arizona Republic. Jennifer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Every year, this is an annual contract with Arizona Republic for publishing our ordinances, public notices regarding zoning cases, our requests for bids and proposals, all matters that require the publication. This, we're hoping to bring back in future years on a consent agenda item. Currently, our pricing for this has not changed, so there's really nothing new on this contract for us. And they do not indicate at this time that they'll raise prices for publication.
Any discussion from city council member?
Can't believe something didn't go up.
Do I have a motion for this?
Your Honor, I move that the legal advertising agreement with the Arizona Republic be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call?
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
Presentation, discussion, and consideration of entering into an agreement with Centimark Corporation for recoding the police department's roof. Heather.
Good evening,
Hello.
Mayor, council members. Heather Hodgman, Administrative Services Manager. Matt, it's a different.
Oh.
Sorry. That's my next one.
Here.
There we go. So tonight, we're going to talk about the recoding of the police department roof. Staff routinely gets on our roofs to kind of look at any potential maintenance that needs to be done. And particularly, this police department is ready. And the last time we did it, it was 10 years ago, and there's no warranty on it, so we couldn't get any work done unless paying extra funds. So we want to make sure there's no leaks coming in from the roof, no cracks that are happening, no damage to our police department inside. So this is just, I'm just kind of giving you an overview of what it actually looks like, the roofing. You see some of the poles and equipment that are up there. When we add new things, we have a tendency, you punch into that roof. So we need to make sure that that's sealed off correctly for any potential rain. And we need to make sure we have a warranty on it. There's potential roof damage and potential, it's aging of the department. We just need to make sure that we're covering all aspects, keeping it rain-free. So, pretty simple. So staff's recommending entering into an agreement with Centimark. They are on a Mohave cooperative contract in an amount not to exceed $52,063. Pretty simple.
Okay. Any questions from council? Discussion?
I'm surprised it actually lasted 10 years without you having to be here a little sooner.
Yeah, preventative maintenance is always cheaper.
Yes.
Your Honor. Heather, my only question was about the preventive maintenance, I guess, the agreement. How long is that for? I mean, is the Centimark gonna give you a preventive maintenance, like over the years, do things or check it out or what?
I apologize. It is a 10-year warranty, so if we have any issues, we call them out, no charge to the city. If we need an inspection done for any reason and our staff looks up there and there's an issue, we bring them in.
Okay,
And
so they
there's
won't be
no-
just like once a year or once every 2 years, come and check it out?
No.
But our staff will probably be checking it out?
Correct.
Okay.
Any additional? Do I have a motion?
Your Honor, I move that the agreement with Centimark Corporation for the recoating of the police department roof in an amount not to exceed $52,063 using the Mohave Contract number 18R-CTMK-0418 be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, roll call.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Presentation, and discussion and consideration, and enter into an agreement with Riddle Painting and Coating Corporation for the exterior winterization of the police department. Heather, continue.
Heather Hodgman, Administrative Services Manager. So with that, we're going to keep going on the police department and make sure that we're buckled up with this rain. So there is no warranty on that as well. About 6-7 years ago, we had the weatherization done, and that was only a 3-year warranty, and so that is expired, and we need to get back in there and make sure that that warranty is done. What's happened in the past, typically rain comes in more on the east side, and it hits our command staff through the window seals, through the actual block walls, and it gets rain in there. We've also had issues in our evidence room, and it's flooded in there. It's those block walls that are like sponges, and they just want to take in that water and go right into that police department building. So this is just to kind of keep the preventative maintenance going, making sure we're sealing those block walls so that we can actually eliminate that potentially happening. So basically kind of what is going to happen along with that weatherization is it's going to reseal the expansion joints, the construction, the window frames, the door frames, anywhere that we can make sure that we're sealing that. With this contract, we're going to actually epoxy the second floor patio. That's by dispatch. That wasn't originally done when we did the police dispatch remodel. And so that's also going to help with the leakage because evidence is right below the dispatch patio. So that'll also help with that. We're also going to paint, do some little bit of painting in the police department. Their metal doors, their frames, their handrails inside their actual building, just to kind of refreshen everything. A little bit interior, mostly the exterior is our concern. So this will be a warranty as well to make sure that we're up to date and make sure if there's any issues, we call them back in. Riddle Painting will call them back in to fix any concerns that might happen. So with that, staff is recommending entering an agreement with Riddle Painting and Coatings in an amount not to exceed $60,322, and this is utilizing a Mohave cooperative contract as well.
Okay. Any questions from the council? How long's the warranty good for?
10.
That's a good question. I think I had it
It
somewhere, but I
says
don't have
10
it
years
with
on
me.
your paperwork.
Huh?
It says 10 years.
Thank you. I didn't have it on my cheat sheet, so thank you very much.
Okay. Do I have a motion and a second?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that the agreement with Riddle Painting and Coatings Corporation for the exterior weatherization of the police department not to exceed $60,322, utilizing the Mohave Contract number 20A-Riddle-0404 be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call?
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
All right, we got a new exterior and roof on the police department now.
Yeah,
Stay dry.
stay dry.
Presentation discussion on entering into agreement with Southern Counties Oil Corporation, doing business as SC Fuel for bulk fuel services not to exceed $800,000. Heather.
Heather Hodgman, Administrative Services Manager. So to go back, to give you a background, because we've been talking about this actually for several months. Our first RFP that we issued was on August 11th. We received the 2 responses. They were non-responsive, so we came back to council on September 20th. You approved the rejection of those proposals and approval for us to go back out for another RFP. So we issued another RFP October 26th, November 9th, we received 3 proposals. They were basically almost the same that came back from the original, but all of them ended up being responsive and responsible. So they submitted all their exhibits, they submitted all the documents that were required, so we proceeded to move forward with reviewing them. These are the amounts. So when you talk about fuel, it's about Opus Rack. Opus Rack is something that is the Phoenix Opus Rack. It's typical for bulk fuel. These prices that you see on for instance, SC Fuel is 0.4746 a gallon for red dyed. That is added to the price per gallon that they pull that fuel for that day. So if it's $4, it'll be $4.4746. So they have to include their delivery, their taxes, any other charges they want to put on it. So this is kind of a breakdown, a total, what that would be, their differential with all those included pricing for all 3 of our responses. It fluctuates. Everybody is different on these prices. So just to give you an idea, there was some technical scoring and pricing was still considered a factor. So technical scoring, what we did, we looked at just regular general information. Did they submit financial information? Did they submit the bond? Did they submit the information about their business? How long have they been in business? Contractor information. The experience qualifications, can they do the job? Can they perform? Can they deliver the way they're supposed to deliver per our request of 24 hours? Billing, how they're gonna bill us, the customer service, who can we contact to actually order our fuel? The clarity, thoroughness, and of the proposal, is it nice? Is it neat? Is it professional? And then the addenda. We didn't have any addendums this time, but there was still the requirement of recognition that we didn't have addendas. As mentioned, the pricing was considered, so the pricing was this pricing on this page. That was considered when we were reviewing it. We did have 3 staff members. An odd number is best, so you can see not everyone's, it's not a 2 and 2 decision. So after reviewing everything, looking at pricing, looking at technical scores, staff is actually recommending to go into agreement with Southern Counties Oil Company for $800,000 for 1 year with an option to renew for 4 additional years. The $800,000 is due to the fact that we just don't feel so volatile. We've come back for 2 extensions and amendments because of the fuel pricing, because we went over the original contracted amount. So we feel that this amount is going to at least push us through year after year. And it is something that is budgeted every year.
Okay, does anyone have any questions from the council?
I do. I'm looking at the rates and everything that was on your other screen there. And how closely between the 3 was the decision?
Close. We had Pinnacle Petroleum was close with SC Fuels, but their pricing was higher.
Was that the final deciding tip?
It was.
Okay.
Anyone else? Okay, so there's no motion or discussion only on this one?
We'll be coming back to council on December 20th. for
December
approval.
20th, okay. That's what I was going to ask. Thank you, Heather. Council, direction to staff. Direction to staff regarding feasibility of discussion, or dissolution, of the Industrial Development Authority due to lack of activity. Councilman Nasser, to start.
Okay, back in October, when we do our annual appointments to boards and commissions, this is one of the, is it a board or a commission? Commission that never gets any applicants, more or less. It's my understanding that the Industrial Development Authority must be an entity for the city if the city is going to issue bonds. But we haven't issued any bonds, industrial development bonds, for 30 whatever years. Every year this comes up to appoint people and nobody applies. And initially, I had requested that we put this on the agenda to discuss, to see about, what's the word in here that's used? I can't-
Dissolutions.
Dissolution. Well, in speaking with our city attorney, we probably shouldn't do away with it, dissolve it, but rather we should possibly consider suspending this commission. Under Code Article 2-15, just suspend the article until any future date as needed, if future bonds are ever to be issued. We should allow present memberships, people who've already been appointed, to continue until their term ends. But then we should make no new appointments or reappointments until down the road, if we ever needed them to be made. And then we can bring back a resolution for those three things: the suspension, the appointments, and address them at that time if it's ever needed.
Okay, council, have any discussion on this? Yes.
I have a question. I thought one of the purposes for the Industrial Commission was it also gave us the ability to apply for grants. Is that
We can apply for
factual or-
grants in lots of different means. I'm not sure that there's any technical piece. I know that we want to keep the Municipal Property Corporation for other purposes, but Matt, any
Right.
thoughts on the grant
So
part of this?
The type of bonding that is made available through an industrial development authority is it allows a private entity to basically utilize the city's municipal bonding capacity through the IDA, which is a lower cost of issuance. So it's a way to help private issuers decrease their borrowing costs. Now, there may be other programs. I know some IDAs, like in Tempe, one of their programs is some sort of like tuition reimbursement for certain places, and I assume they get grants or something, or they are the grantor, they must fund it. But there can be some grant funding out there that could be put towards this, but the main purpose of the IDA is to allow the private sector access to municipal financing to build large capital-type facilities and projects.
So, I mean, one of the things that I've always thought in the past was part of the slow development of our industrial area was the lack of infrastructure. I just don't want to do anything that would
Keep our ability from.
slow that down.
Exactly.
You know, so if we don't have, well, like Bambi even she was on that commission. I understand we don't want to have things we don't need, but I'm not sure if this is the right time because we're so close to such a big expansion of, you know, whether the sewer district and the water district go together to have bonds and issue bonds. I don't want to dissolve it. I guess, we can suspend it, or can you just deem it inactive? Because we,
What about that? What
have
about-
it there and just call it
Is a suspension the
inactive.
same to you, Joel, as being inactive?
Yeah, I think you could do that. It'd be by resolution, though. I think it should.
Your Honor.
Because you do have an ordinance and a code section that governs it.
Yes, Chris?
Your Honor. I think the stars must have aligned or something, because Gail and I just agree on everything lately. No, I agree with Councilmember Evans on this. My only thing would be a timing thing. So say something comes up, we have a need for this commission again. The appointment process is not a quick one. And so, now we got to get into, trying to figure out how we're going to appoint people, getting the word out and all that. So I'm a little bit, I get that we don't really need it or utilize it. But I'm with Gail on this. It's like if we actually do away with it or suspend it at the time that we do need it, what's the time, how long is it going to take to get people in place to get done what the purpose of the board is to get done? You see what I mean? So,
Joel, is that as quick as just doing a resolution to undo
Well-
the resolution and then get people on? Or
Well, in the resolution that Councilmember Nesser speaks of, you could have a clause that says, "An appointments shall be made on an as-needed basis," so that takes it out of the October cycle. So you could do it pretty quickly.
So we could just add it in a different cycle part of it.
Yes.
Okay.
but then doesn't the concern become, like we already have, not necessarily getting the board up and running and ready to appoint, it's getting the people in place.
Yeah, but
How do you make that happen quickly?
I think if we had the need for it right away, it would be easier to find the people. I think not having the immediate need is what makes it harder. But when you have something ready to move on, then you have the interest.
That's
so it
why,
sounds like you all want to keep it at minimum or some level of either.
well, that's why I said,
yeah.
just, if we just suspend it, and then if you need it, comes up, you can go out for a call real quick saying, we need people to step up to do this.
And Joel, in the resolution, when she says real quick, can it mean immediate? Like, I
Oh.
mean, we can get a council meeting in,
2 weeks.
yeah, 2 weeks or a month.
Or you could do an emergency meeting. You could do that too if it's so important that you're getting some kind of project that's coming to AJ and you've got to
Right.
have that funding in place.
Right.
I would think that if you had a real need with all of the other boards and commissions, and we put out a call and said, we need to have people on this because we have something to do, I think that you'll more than likely get people to say, pick me.
Yeah.
I mean, I ended up on it simply because I had applied for another board and ended up on the municipal, and they did not have anyone to take this particular one. And I said, well, sure.
Yeah.
I think more people will step up if they feel like there's a need, but then we're back.
And that was the only reason for my bringing that up, is to just suspend it and not deal with it unless we need it, because we haven't needed it since forever. So let it just sit until we need it.
Yeah, be it kind of like at will if we need.
So why do anything with it?
Well, just, this way you don't have to keep trying to fill positions that you never can fill anyway.
Well, every couple of years, we got to talk to 4 people.
Well, or say, no one's applied,
No one's
go on
applied.
to the next board.
No one's
I
applying.
think it's worse to put people on a board and give them nothing to do. Because you do have citizens that step forward for that, and they think that they're doing something and they're stepping up for their city, and then you get told right away, but by the way,
We
we
never
never
meet."
meet, we don't do anything, don't worry about it. And that's what it's kind of like getting volunteers. If somebody volunteers to do something, and then you don't give them anything to do,
So
the odds of them stepping up again is gonna be pretty slim.
we would rather
Your Honor.
suspend it Go ahead,
Wait.
Krista.
Okay, Krista.
I didn't mean to interrupt. I'll wait till you're finished. Somebody started speaking.
We would rather suspend it, and then if it comes a time where we do need it, if it's outside of the term of anybody sitting on it, we're just gonna have to go through the same thing over again. You know, if the term lapse that we have on there now, let's say, we just suspend it, and we don't do anything about it, it's gonna be nothing anyways. It's not gonna be, I mean,
No one will be assigned to it.
No harm,
Yeah.
no harm.
Your Honor,
yeah.
Yes.
You're now moving away from it being, the initial, I think, thought was it going away. Now you're talking about how to keep it active or semi-active. It's a little different.
Your Honor.
Yes.
So my question is, couple of things. A couple questions. How many people are normally on the board if we have a full board? How many people are on it now? And we've had times where we've had boards and there's not, enough people to fill every single seat. So I'm wondering what the harm is of keeping it in place. Just keep, like Robert started to say, just keep it in place. What's the harm in keeping it in place? And just, let people know it's essentially a do-nothing board, but we're keeping it in place for X, Y, Z reasons. Is there any harm in that, or do we have to, just because we have it, do we have to appoint people to it? Because I know we've had many times where there was nobody to appoint to it.
Jennifer, do you have all the active members? You have that in front of you?
I don't have it in front of me,
'Cause
and
I-
I believe do you have it pulled up?
I have the list from the night, and it doesn't say how many.
I don't believe we had any apply for it, and I don't know if we even have a quorum. but
Yeah,
we
that was
could-
the reason I think we're having the issues. We were having issues
Right.
of filling it. So no appointment was made, no appointment was made, no appointment was made. They're filling vacancies. I'm not sure we have anybody on the board.
Yeah. So there's 5 or 7 seats at 5?
I'm showing 5.
Yeah. And is there anybody with a term right now? I don't have that in front of me. Is there anybody that's serving a term on it right now? Anybody?
I'm not showing anybody on my records, Matt.
We
Yeah.
would have to go back and look at the,
So then my question is, what's the harm in leaving it the way that it is, and rather than going through the process of? It just seems like we're coming with the same end. We're just adding additional processes.
So
If it's
that is a
not-
good
if-
question that Vice
Yeah.
Mayor makes. If there is nobody and we're just doing it, why can't we just keep going with what we're going and not appoint anybody next October? And then nothing keeps us from getting together and appointing. If we needed to do a quick Al
Your
Bravo
Honor?
shootout, fill in, yeah.
So I just have a question, maybe, I don't know if Joel can answer this. If we didn't do anything, we just let it go, without doing anything about it, can we still call a special meeting to fill?
You can,
Okay.
absolutely.
Your Honor. So Joel, what we could do is, what Bryant just said, just go ahead and, would it be suspended? Would that be the term? Just suspend it and not fill anything, not bother with it until it's needed?
Correct,
Leave it as an existing entity and just suspend it?
yes,
Do we need to do a resolution for that?
yes.
Why would you have to do a resolution?
Yeah, if we just didn't do anything at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, why suspend it?
Well,
Just leave it as it is.
You could leave as is also, but, but if you want to officially suspend it, because it's a code section, you do need to have an action that does something with that.
Then we'd have
Code.
to officially unsuspend it.
Yes.
Yes.
Or we could, Joe, is it
Function
possible?
without it
in
right now.
April's-
I just don't
Is
get
it
it. So I'm sitting here right now, I'm not showing any unless we can triple check
So-
this tomorrow.
So right now, the IDA is a 7-member board. They all must be city residents. In October, you appointed Jaime Lanza to this commission. It was not one that he had filled out that he wanted to serve. And the other serving member that I have is Sarah Moore. And you appointed her in October of '21.
Gotcha.
20.
So we got 2.
So,
You have 2 of 7.
so what I heard Joel state, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if they wanted to suspend it, they need a resolution. He wasn't saying
Yeah.
to just not do anything, that they had to create a resolution to
Right.
not do anything.
If you want to officially suspend it, so that
Right.
the people on it, if there are people on it, which I think there are,
There are.
They know that there's not going to be any action. I think that's what Councilmember Johnson was talking about.
Yeah.
The expectation of something coming is not going to be there.
Right.
But we don't have to do anything, do we,
Right.
Joel?
No, you don't, no, you don't.
Correct.
You don't.
Yeah, legally, there's no, I'm in favor of just leaving it alone. Just let it ride out.
So
I second that.
the only question I have is
Me too.
in the aspect, and Joel, and that aspect is now coming October, when we're filling this one comes up and we have 5 vacancies on it, can we say, well, we're just not going to fill it at this time and move on?
You can. You could also ask for people, are you interested? And no one raises their hand.
Just
By
move on.
operational law, no one's been appointed to it. So it's the same thing you're kind of talking about now, an unofficial suspension.
Is there any negative to the fact that they really can't do a quorum if they don't have any work to do and they don't have a quorum? Is there some negative that we're not seeing, or?
If there's no work to be done, there's no bonds to be issued, and that's usually what has happened. In fact, I looked at some information from Prescott recently, and I saw the minutes, and they said, hey, let's disband this. We don't need this. We don't issue bonds. Well, there were some members who said, well, yeah, there's still some outstanding bonds. So if something comes up with those, let's keep this going until those are totally liquidated. And so they kept it going. But you have to have it. If you don't have any business, or you don't foresee any business, then you don't have to appoint anybody. But you could appoint if you had to in an emergency.
Well, I think then, and you know, if there's no harm in not having enough people, because if you don't have a meeting, then nobody knows you don't have enough people, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So maybe just leave it out there for whenever. But, you know, anybody who's on it, we're just gonna be really upfront that they don't have a whole lot of business to do, and
You
sometime in the
probably
future.
fill it.
Yeah, you know,
Get someone up there and say, hey, it never meets, but if we need you, are you here available? Oh, sure.
yeah, and you might, you know, like I said, if something does come up and we put the call out to the public to say, hey, we've got something important we need to get done, you're probably going to get somebody that may step forward because we tell them we need them, not, oh, grab a seat here for nothing.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Your Honor,
yes?
I move that we keep the industrial commissions as is. Just keep it in place and just in the future appoint people as needed.
Second.
Moved and seconded.
Is it a vote?
Roll call.
I didn't think it was a vote.
Vice Mayor Rizzi,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser,
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes,
Councilmember Evans,
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
Okay. Selection of meeting dates and times and locations.
Your Honor, I
Yes.
move that an executive session at 6 PM for Monday, December 19th, and Tuesday, December 20th, 2022, be held in the City Council Conference Room located at 300 East Superstition Boulevard in Apache Junction, Arizona, and other meetings if necessary, scheduled.
Second?
Second.
Okay, I moved and seconded. Roll call?
Councilmember Schroeder,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser,
Yes.
Councilmember Evans,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, call to the public. I'd like to remind everyone, the call to the public is a courtesy and not required by law. It's a time for the public to express requests, communication, comments, and suggestions. Request to speak forms must be completed and handed to the city clerk before the end of the city manager's report. All issues shall be presented in a professional manner without personal attacks. Under the open meeting law, council cannot engage in discussion on the issues presented, but may respond to criticism, may direct staff to follow up with the speaker directly, or place the matter on a future agenda for the council to discussion. There's a 3-minute time limit for each speaker. Okay, I have 3 here. Mr. Jackson, Jeremy Jackson.
Hey, guys. Thank you for letting me come up. My name is Jeremy Jackson, on 1353 South Bel Air Road here in Apache Junction. Guys, I just wanted to come up and say thank you. I know that a lot of times during these times, we don't get a chance, you guys don't get a chance to actually hear some of us actually come up and thank you for your time and your service. You are representing me and representing anybody else that's behind me. And I want to thank you for that. I want to thank you for giving us this time just to be able to say things, not only just that we're having issues with, but also that we can actually bring up comments and concerns. Some of my cohorts that have been behind me as of late have brought other stuff that isn't necessarily as positive. And so I wanted to come up and actually bring something fairly positive and say, thank you for taking your time out of your lives to be here. Me and my wife, we feed the homeless every Sunday. And so we get a chance to see how thankful we are, because they don't have the things that we have, that we're able to be a light into their life. And so being able to be in part of this process has been actually really nice. We've been here for 9 years, and out of 9 years, of course, you guys have known how much time I've been here, because you guys have seen me. Out of all that time, I sit in my house, I did my normal things, and I went, I wonder why they said that. I wonder why they did that. That doesn't make any sense to me. And then I decided I wanted to be a part of the process. So we came in. So thank you for letting me be a part of the process and help be a part of giving that opinion to you guys. I have opinions just like everybody else that's behind me. And I live my life in a certain way of decorum whenever I'm in this kind of situation. Just like a courtroom, just like anything else, there's a certain amount of decorum. And so my opinion of it is, and it's my opinion only, I will always stand for the prayer, and I will always stand for the Pledge of Allegiance while I'm in this building, because I believe in the country that I am in. And if you don't like it, there are many countries that will take you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brenda McAllstar?
He's supposed to be a service dog, but everybody thinks he's so darn cute that just don't listen real well. Hello, my name is Brenda McAllister, as many of you know, and I'm not so nervous up here anymore, but I live at 724 East Scenic Street here in Apache Junction, just past the roundabout, and off Royal Palm. That's it. You know, there's been so much turmoil about rentals all around here. Rentals. What about one-level condominiums for age 55 and older for sale? There's pride in ownership. I don't want Apache Junction known as, go there, they've got plenty of rentals. That's not what it's all about here. We want growth, but we want growth at a good, slow, steady, constant, with pride in ownership. not all the apartments and all the more rental homes or the 55 and older apartments or just apartments in and of itself. I have a trouble just getting down my street to go to Fry's. It's grown that much. I love AJ. This is my little city, and I want to see good growth, not rapid growth. And one other thing I'd like to say real quick, the roundabout out here, why don't we have a great statue, welcome to AJ, whatever, with 3 horses rearing up, something, putting in the middle there. Okay, gotta go. Thank you for listening to me. Come on, go.
Thank you. George.
George Schroeder, 2444 West Virginia Street. Y'all think I'm some kind of a bad guy here. I'm with that guy, gentleman back there. I'm on this side. I'm the other side of you. I bring up what needs to be bring up. I happen to know more than these people do. I'm in it every day, all day. He asked the question, why do they do that? Why do they talk about that? I know the answer. I told you years ago, I have the answers. You choose not to listen to them. Our code enforcement's a joke. It only works for people who want to break the code. 469. Get ready for a lot more disappointment. You're going to need to go to that land trust and take some of that $9 billion out. It's wrong that they can do all that, and we get nothing. So I talked to a woman at MAG. I talked to Mr. Surrey, talked to anyway, East Valley Partnership. I just told them, these merchants are getting twice a win, and we're getting twice the loss. They get taxes to offset that loss. They can offset it. It's called creative accounting. I don't know who did it, but they get taxes wrote off. So what the state wants to do is give them their money back. We get nothing. So I proposed a $5 million grab bag. Straight up, straight out. Give us each $5 million. Let us deal with what I wrote. That's what it was. That's what it was for. It's possible. But none of these people are going to vote for it. They're not going to go for it. No way, no how. AJ doesn't deserve anything. They can't find money for anything. But they can find money for Light the World, which is probably $121 billion they stole. They got caught by the IRS for stealing it. Anyway, things got to change. After the first of the year, there are outside entities that are going to make change in this chamber. We're going to separate church from state. We're going to get rid of these people who are not in my favor. They're not in my favor. They never have been. We got to change it. So I talked to Chief about confidential informants. We need to start getting rid of these people. They keep the drugs here. They know where the drugs are. We don't need them anymore. We have better intelligence to get rid of the drug dealers around our community. He's in agreement. We'll be talking about that. We'll be talking about code enforcement. I'm not going away. There's an entity on this planet that can make me stop getting rid of the crap in this city. Got it? Get it? Good.
Anyone have any say?
Yeah, Your Honor. I would just like to know if Mr. Jackson would be interested in sitting on a board that never meets. Would have called upon. Come see you this October.
Anyone else?
That was good.
Okay. I adjourn this meeting.